When a woman leaves you, she almost always expects a reaction. She may not say this out loud. She may even tell you, "I don't want drama," or "I hope we can be mature about this." But in her head, she already has a rough script of how this is going to go. You'll text, you'll call, you'll ask why, you'll argue, you'll try to convince her, you'll say you can change. Her decision didn't happen in one moment. She's usually been warming up to it for weeks or months. While you thought things were okay or a bit off, she was already talking to friends, listing your flaws, highlighting only the worst moments, replaying every argument in her favor, emotionally detaching in advance. By the time she actually says, "I think we should break up," she's had multiple rehearsals in her mind. And you're just now getting the script. In her internal story, you already have a role. The desperate emotional ex, the guy who doesn't take it well, shows how attached he is, proves that she was his whole world, reacts so strongly that she can tell everyone, "See, this is why it had to end." Your chaos becomes her confirmation. Your meltdown becomes her evidence. Your pain becomes the final paragraph of the breakup story she's been writing. But there is one thing she usually doesn't expect. You not playing the role, no meltdown, no begging, no angry paragraph, no "I'll do anything," no "please talk to me," just calm, just acceptance, just silence. That one move, real, grounded silence, does more than confuse her. It forces her to confront something she was not ready for. Herself. Today, we're going to break down, step by step, what a woman actually feels when you move on peacefully, why it triggers such a strong internal response, and how this isn't about getting her back, but about getting you back. 1. The script she wrote before you even knew. There was a story. When a woman initiates the breakup, she very rarely decides in one day. Most of the time, she has been comparing how she feels now to how she felt in the beginning, focusing on what you're not doing instead of what you are collecting evidence to justify leaving. That evidence looks like every argument where you lost your temper, every time you were distant or distracted, every mistake you made that hurt her, every unmet expectation, even the ones she never clearly expressed. She builds a case. She talks to friends. Friends wanting to be loyal usually agree with her. Nobody says, "Maybe you're overreacting," or "Have you owned your part?" So the story becomes, "I tried. He didn't change. This is my only option." By the time she breaks up with you, she's not just leaving a relationship, she's protecting a narrative. And part of that narrative is how you respond. She expects the late night "I miss you" texts, the drunk calls, the sudden wave of "I realized everything I did wrong. Please give me one more chance" messages. The guilt trips, the "you'll never find someone who loves you like I do" speeches. Every one of those plays into her story. He's too emotional. He's unstable without me. He's obsessed. He can't let go. I was his whole world, exactly why I had to leave. Your desperation becomes her closure. You think you're fighting for her. She sees it as proof she made the right choice. 2. The glowdown she expects from you. No man sets out to lose his dignity after a breakup. But a lot of men do it by accident. They don't know who they are without her because they built their identity around being her boyfriend, being her emotional support, being her provider, being her project. So when she leaves, the apartment gets messy, the gym gets skipped, work performance drops, sleep disappears, eating turns into junk or nothing. They spiral. They text her. They stalk her social media. They message her friends. They replay the relationship in their head 1,000 times a day. In her story, this is expected. In some twisted way, it even feels comforting. Yes, I hurt him, but look at how he reacts. This just proves it was unhealthy. She doesn't need to question anything. Your breakdown makes it easy not to. The worst part, your behavior after the breakup can become uglier in her memory than anything that happened during the relationship. You become, in her mind, the guy who couldn't let go instead of the guy I once cared about. This is where most men lock themselves out of any future chance forever, not because she left, but because they handled it in a way that destroyed all remaining respect. 3. The power of doing the one thing she didn't expect: peace. Now, let's flip the script. The breakup happens. Maybe you tried once calmly to understand. Maybe you asked a few questions. Maybe you said what you needed to say. But once it's clear the relationship is over, you do something rare. You accept it, not with fake coldness, not with performative "I don't care, I'm fine," not with angry stories online, but with quiet, grounded acceptance. You don't spam her phone, argue with her reasons, try to debate her into changing her mind, post songs, quotes, and cryptic stories aimed at her. You also don't Announce no contact like it's a strategy block and unblock her repeatedly. Send long goodbye messages every few days. You simply stop participating. You give her exactly what she said she wanted, space. And then you turn toward your life. This is a psychological pattern interrupt. She prepared herself for drama. You gave her silence. She braced for desperation. You gave her dignity. She geared up to justify her choice against your emotional storm. You walked away from the storm entirely. Suddenly, all the defensive energy she built up has nowhere to go, and that's when her mind starts turning on itself. 4. Stage 1, confusion. Her first reaction, confusion. Wait, what? Why isn't he chasing? Did he not care as much as I thought? Did I misread him? You didn't give her the emotional script she was expecting, so now she can't play the victim in the same way. She can't as easily say, he went crazy after I left. She can't point to your reaction as the evidence. Instead, she's left alone with her choice. No fight, no big scene, no dramatic closing chapter. Just the hard, quiet reality. I ended it, he accepted it. Now what? This is uncomfortable because she was emotionally prepared to defend herself, not to examine herself. If she's avoidant, more independent, more detached, this might initially feel like relief. Okay, good, no drama. That was easy. But even then, something feels off. The avoidant mindset thrives on emotional distance. Usually she creates that distance and you try to close it. No matter what, she gets to be the one with power. When you don't chase, there's no gap to control, no emotional battle. To win, no familiar, he wants more than I do, structure. Her usual pattern doesn't work on you anymore. If she's more anxious, more connection seeking, more afraid of being alone, the confusion is stronger. Why isn't he fighting? Was I not important? Did I overestimate my place in his life? Has he already found someone else? You don't need her to feel this way. You're not trying to make her think, but your calm acceptance naturally creates those questions. And questions are powerful because they break certainty. 5. Stage 2. Respect before anything else. Most guys want to jump straight to, will she miss me? Will she regret it? Will she come back? You're skipping a step. Before a woman feels regret, attraction, or longing, one thing has to exist: respect. A woman may love a man she doesn't fully respect, but she will not stay attracted to him long term. And once respect is gone, almost everything else collapses with it. When you beg, bargain, threaten, send long essays, try to debate her decision, revolve your entire emotional world around her, you are broadcasting one message clearly: I don't have myself without you. That destroys respect, even if she feels guilty or sad. When you accept the breakup, keep your composure, don't insult her, don't chase her, don't try to recruit her friends and family, start focusing visibly on your own life. You're sending the opposite message. Yes, this hurts, but my self-respect is non-negotiable. That is rare, not loud, not aggressive, not alpha screaming, just steady. Your calm doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you value your dignity more than you fear losing her. That is the moment respect starts to rebuild. Not because you manipulated her, but because for the first time, you're proving through your behavior that you respect yourself. 6. Stage 3. The internal audit. She didn't plan to do. Once shock and confusion fade and your peace has earned you back a baseline of respect, something else begins: her internal audit. A lot of women ruminate after a breakup. They replay memories, conversations, and moments repeatedly in their mind. At first, this rumination is biased. He wasn't present. He didn't listen. We kept fighting. He wasn't ready. But your post-breakup chaos, if you had gone down that road, would have become Exhibit A that she made the right call. Because you didn't give her that, she has to go deeper. There's no new drama from you to use as justification. So her brain goes back to old data, and then small cracks appear. He did show up for me here. We actually had good moments there. He wasn't perfect, but neither was I. Maybe I didn't communicate as clearly as I think I did. Your peaceful distance creates space for nuance. She starts noticing things like you're not trash-talking her publicly, you're not posting cringe memes about toxic exes, you're not hounding mutual friends for updates, you're not trying to get a reaction out of her. Instead, she hears through the grapevine. He's been hitting the gym. He's been working more. He seems quieter, but more focused. He's spending time with his family and friends. And that's when the first serious thought appears. He's handling this better than I expected. That single thought can be the beginning of a very different story in her head. 7. Stage 4, the what if spiral. Once respect starts to re-enter the picture, the next stage is the one most men secretly want but rarely earn honestly: regret. Not all regret is the same. She might not regret leaving the version of you that existed in the relationship, but she can regret losing the version of you that is emerging now. That's an important distinction. The man she left could have been complacent, could have ignored issues, could have taken her for granted, could have had poor communication skills, and you may fully accept that. But the man she now sees glimpses of, hits the gym consistently, dresses better, is more composed, isn't chasing anyone, is focused on work, projects, or goals, has a calmer presence. That man is, in many ways, new to her, and her brain asks, did I leave too soon? Is he becoming the man I wanted him to be? What if he shows up like this for someone else? What if I was part of the problem too? She might not say any of this. She might even double down on her public story. I'm so glad I left. I'm focusing on me. It was the right choice. But when she sees that, you didn't crumble. You didn't chase. You didn't get petty. You didn't lose yourself. Her inner narrative becomes less stable. That's where the what ifs multiply. Not because you played a trick, but because your new reality doesn't match her old story. 8. Stage 5. Scarcity, reactance, and renewed attraction. There are two basic psychological principles at work here. Scarcity. When something is less available, we value it more. Reactance. When we feel our access to something is limited or taken away, we want it more. When you were chasing, your attention was always available, your presence was predictable, your validation was guaranteed. That made you emotionally cheap. When you accepted the breakup calmly and focused on your own life, your attention became scarce, your time became selective, your validation became something she no longer had automatic access to. Suddenly, you're not liking every post, you're not first in her DMs, you're not watching every story instantly, you're not orbiting her life like a satellite, you still exist. You're still kind if you interact, you're not hostile, but you're not hers, you're not even half hers. And that is where attraction can quietly rekindle. Not because she's evil, not because women only want what they can't have, but because security plus tension are attraction. Too much security, no tension, or boredom. Too much tension, no security, or anxiety. You used to provide too much one-sided security. Now, from her perspective, there is security in who you are, but not security in whether she has you. That's when her mind does things like check your profile more often, notice if you've seen her stories, feel something when she sees you with friends, or moving forward, wonder who you're talking to. You are no longer a guaranteed option. You are a path she chose to step off. Now she has to live with that. Sometimes that's where she reaches out. A casual message, a reaction to your story, a "hey stranger" out of nowhere. Not always, but often enough that men experience it and think it's magic. It's not magic. It's just the delayed effect of your silence plus your growth. 9. The Phoenix effect. The glow up that isn't about her. Here's the part I want you to understand deeply. Everything we've talked about so far, her confusion, her respect, her regret, her renewed attraction, none of that is under your control. You cannot force it. You cannot guarantee it. You cannot time it. What is under your control is what you do with yourself. Most guys treat no contact as a technique to get her back, so they spend weeks checking her profiles, counting the days, watching videos about how long it will take for her to miss you, imagining the moment she returns. All of that is mental chasing. You're not texting her, but you're still orbiting her emotionally. That's not peace. That's obsession in disguise. The real power move isn't, I'll be silent until she comes back. The real power move is, I'll be silent because there is nothing left to talk about, and my energy is better spent on building my life. Breakups give you a brutal amount of emotional energy. Anxious thoughts, pain, anger, sadness, confusion. You can spend it chasing, spend it stalking, spend it overthinking, or you can spend it lifting, spending it learning, spend it building skills, spend it improving your finances, spend it reconnecting with your brothers, family, mission. Spend it actually becoming a better man, not just a hurting one. The Phoenix isn't the guy who got a six-pack to post for his ex. It's the guy who built discipline, structure, and mental toughness from his pain. It's not, look how hot I am now. I hope she sees this. It's, I'm proud of the man I'm becoming. Whether she sees it or not is irrelevant. And, ironically, that's what makes you truly attractive. Not just to her, but to everyone who meets you after this. 10. The one thing that will make this all fall apart. If you've been nodding along thinking, okay, so if I just stay silent and hit the gym, she'll come back. You've missed the whole point. If everything you're doing is secretly aimed at getting a reaction from her, she'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll stay stuck. Moving on peacefully is not a manipulation strategy. It's not a psychological hack to win the breakup. It's you saying, I will not destroy myself over someone who chose to leave. I will feel what I feel, but I will not beg. I will hurt, but I will not collapse. I will learn, I will grow, and I will move forward. You are not responsible for her regret. You are responsible for your recovery. You are not responsible for her attraction. You are responsible for your character. You are not responsible for her story. You are responsible for your life. If she ever comes back, it should feel like this. You are already good. Your life is already moving. Your standards are higher now. You're calm enough to evaluate her like any other person. Not, finally, I can breathe again. My life is complete. She's back. If that's your mindset, you haven't actually grown. You just did a 6-week performance. 11, the real win when you don't care if she regrets it or not. You know you've truly made it through this transformation when something subtle shifts inside you. You stop caring whether she regrets it, not out of bitterness, not out of rage, not out of, I never loved her anyway, but out of this. What she thinks of me is no longer the center of my world. I took the hit. I learned. I rebuilt. My life is bigger than that relationship now. At that point, her regret, if it comes, curiosity, attempts to reconnect, all become just data, not destiny. You can choose to talk, to stay distant, to be friendly, to be done, not from pain, from clarity. That is the real power of moving on. Peacefully. Not that she comes back, but that you come back. Back to your center, your purpose, your standards, your self-respect. And once a man gets himself back, he never allows another breakup, no matter who it's with, to take that away again. If you're in that dark place right now, remember this: your silence is not weakness. Your peace is not indifference. Your calm is not proof you didn't care. It's proof you respect yourself more than you fear losing someone who chose to walk away. And that kind of man, whether she sees it or not, is always going to be okay.